Hey everybody, and welcome to a video. I know it's been a long time since I've done a Minecraft video, but hey, I am back and I will get to all that stuff here in the near future. But I actually wanted to start things off with a thing that you guys might be familiar with, and that's a base tour. So a couple months ago, Stranger and I, VJ, him and I were playing Galacticraft or Space Astronomy, and we didn't really record it, but I want to show you the bases and designs that I have done when we were playing, because I think they're actually really good, and it was a mixture of creative and survival. So what we have here is the start of our base. You can kind of see the pathway that we were just on there. You can see some of it down there, but you can kind of see that we're on this small island. There's not too much around. There's some other stuff over here, which I will also get to, but pretty much this is what it looks like. So let's go down into the actual base and show you, oh, that's not the way, and show you actually what it looks like itself. So again, this is the starting portion. We have some workbenches up here, so we don't always have to go down into the base if we need something. Just keeps it really simple and kind of streamlines. Hi chickens. Why do I have auto jump on? I'm gonna have to get rid of that. So we go up here and down the elevator, and it takes us to the next area. So we walk out of the elevator, and we have a lot of stuff going on here that I will explain, and some stuff that we will get into in another video. When you make a left, you will see our furnace here, which right now there's nothing in it because we have been trying to replace some stuff, and we're not using this space so much because we're using our space stations that we used and are going to be using more and more as we go forward to get to other places. Right here we have a nuclear reactor. This is for power, so this was the main step up in this base, was getting the nuclear reactor made. That way we didn't have to rely so much on other types of power, which we will also get to, that we have as backup still. So again, furnace room and the nuclear reactor room. There was glass here before with the doorway. I decided to get rid of it to make it look as nice as possible. I think these are different clays that I used for the walls, in case you are wondering, and I am using a different texture pack than what you might be using, so that's why things also look a little bit different. And just a little construction blocks around, you know, just small details like that I enjoy doing. So to the right of the elevator, we have a portal. So this will actually take us to one of our space stations, which again, that will be in a different video, maybe a small sneak peek at the very end. Just a nice small room. If we walk farther down that hallway, we have a oxygen room. So this was mainly to collect oxygen, get some stuff ready for when we went to space. Again, it just allowed us to get everything ready that we needed to. And then one of the other small rooms over here on this side as well is just some of the smaller equipment. So this was a smeltery, I believe. Different than the furnace that we had over there. Maybe I think this actually might be called the furnace. The one over there was a smeltery. I could have that backwards, and let me know if I do. Here we have a squeezer. This was to help make oil and I think gas for the rockets. And then we had just an extra bay here just in case we needed something else. All these things here on the wall, what these are the crafting benches. So we have wiring in between all the walls, which again we will get to. That allows us to access crafting from every individual room that we need it. So we are pretty much done on this side. So if we keep walking straight, we have, I think this was my room. So I ended up making my room here. Again, with some of the mods and stuff in this pack, we can have some different stuff put in that you might not normally see in Minecraft. So again, nice, and I really need to turn off auto jumping. It's really annoying. I'm not actually jumping. That's the game. So then here's the other power system that I was talking about earlier. So even though we have the nuclear reactor, before we had that, we had these power banks that stored all of the power from everything else. I didn't get rid of them mainly because it still is a good backup in case we need to turn off the reactor for some reason or something happens to it. We can actually turn it off and we can still get power to the rest of the base. So you can see here, these can have a max of 10,000 RF each. And we have, what, 1, 2, 3, we have 4 of them. Over here, it looks empty right now, but this was one of our construction rooms where we had a lot of parts being made for the ME system, you know, for hard drive, stuff like that. It just kind of depends on what we needed at the time, but this was one of those rooms that we fabricated a lot of stuff, and so we needed power coming into this room. Again, it looks empty now, but it was a lot more full earlier. Like, we had machines over here on the far right wall. Up here, there was a lot of stuff going on. The pillars back here, the back wall wasn't really used for anything, more just for ME system and getting stuff where we need, and also kind of looking pretty. We also had some shelves there. So here's where we kind of have the main ME system and where it's powering the whole base. So you're not seeing any hard drives right now because we took all of them and put them into the space stations. But this was pretty much the server room to where we kept all of our stuff when we were here at this base. In the back, you can see we have the computers, we got that spinning, but also just wires going to everything. A chest here, and this is the nether chest, I think is what it's called, or ender IO chest, something like that. But pretty much what this would allow us to transfer things from one nether region to the other. Doesn't have to just be the nether, it could be a lot of other things. So we already went over the nuclear reactor room, also some simple furnaces. So right here was one of the launch pads that we made. So we have the fueling system and what is this? The refinery for the fuel. And this would load up our rocket with fuel and then take us up. So again, you might notice we only have one launch pad. And again, like I said at the beginning, it was VJ and I. Because it was kind of a cool island layout, what we did is, I will come back to some of this stuff, we actually had the other rocket launch all the way over here. And the reason why I did that was, yes, it's not too practical that someone has to walk all the way down, but it was more the idea that we're taking off from one island to the other, like side by side, and that was just kind of a cool idea that we thought of. So like, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. And to make sure that we knew which launch pad was mine versus VJ's, I added the lady sign here for him because it just kind of fits him more than it does me. So over here, we're going underneath the water. This is what you saw from up top, by the way. We had a infinite water source in case we needed that for something. Really simple to have. And then this was our other machine room. So we kind of started off with the smaller one over there. And then we quickly found out we need a bigger one because of a lot more stuff that we need to make. And the process would just be too long to add into the other room. So we can get the back of the furnace here, so we can actually extract full blocks if we need to on the back side. So again, utilizing more space here. But then we have a lot, this auto jump, man, it's killing me. We pretty much can see that we were smelting iron and putting those into, I think we needed like reinforced iron. So then we would put these into different items. And I think some of these would actually auto sort. So some of these would actually make the iron, but then automatically transfer it over into another machine to be made. So there was a lot of that stuff kind of going on as well. But pretty much, again, just another machine room here that you can see that just covered a lot of bases and a lot of the small machines that we needed to use to kind of just make our lives easier to getting to space and to the moon quicker. So there's a couple other things I need to show you guys. So you might see these red blocks here. And what these are, you'll see them in a couple places around. Like we have another one here. What this does, if I stand on it and hit up, it takes us up into the attic. And so the reason why the attic is here is for pipe and conduit routing. So you kind of see how we had so much stuff going on for the ME system, for, you know, getting power to all the different rooms, and you didn't really see any cords. And the reason why is because we have it all up here. This was all my job to just make sure it was as organized as possible. Right now, we're right above the server room, so we can see the power coming up and around from the server room to every other place that needs those items. And then we come up and over so we can have walkway access to all of this up here. And the reason for this was it allowed things to be simple, but also clean, because while it's not the most important thing to make it look clean, I still like to make it look as clean as possible. But yeah, so this is the top portion of the base. So I think it looks pretty cool. Again, keeps it nice and organized. But the base is not done. If we go back to the elevator, we go back down one more, we can see we have our portal room, so to the nether and then to the mining world. We have a farm, so we can get just a lot of the stuff that we need to farm, and another empty room. I can't remember what, there was something in here at one point, but not anymore, and I can't remember what that was. This stuff here was actually auto sorting at one point, and auto planting the items that it was told to. So the Inferium Essence, this would auto harvest all of that with the auto harvester, or farmer, whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty much the premise of this downstairs room, was purely for farming and some of the smaller stuff. But we're also still not done. If we go down again, we're now in a mine, which we actually have more to go as well. So this mine at one point was also auto mining at some point. And the way that would work is we would have, oh my goodness, that auto jump's gonna kill me down here. We pretty much had robots going and making these quarries in long lines, and then conveyor belts on the other side of this glass where I'm standing now. It would take those items and bring them all the way down and put them into this ME system, which again we could use up top. While we didn't have to be down here in the mine, it would auto do that for us, which that was a really cool thing to have. If we go down even farther, we have a main mine, which you can kind of see the conveyor belts, but I think we got rid of them for lag issues at some point once we stopped using the space. So now we're pretty much all the way down at bedrock, and you can just see here the amount of stuff there is in empty space. I'm trying to find the best entrance, and the reason why we're walking faster is for whatever reason these blocks that I'm standing on, when you walk faster, which I don't understand how that works exactly, but it does. But pretty much you can kind of see the mines here. So this was conveyor belt. There's lava here now. Woo, a lot of lava. All right. Pretty much again, all this was mined out, and we would replace it with cobblestone to make sure the floor stayed even, and it's just a even bigger mine pretty much. And then these things right here were pretty much where the items would be taken to the conveyor belt and then taken back to the other rooms and added into our system, which again, the system was all automated at some point to allow us to take everything from one area and into the other. Ooh, that was almost bad. Okay, so I still have a couple things to show you before we get to this space station, which I also said would be in another video. Also some strip mining here as well, some classic mining to go on top of all of that. So let's go up again, up one more, and up one more. Oh, time set 0. So we do have one more mine actually set up in this overworld. So you can kind of see the main base here, but if we fly over this way, at the beginning I showed you the start of this, but here is the end. So this is another mine. I know we have a lot of mining going on, but that's what's required to get us off of the overworld. So if we go down, you can see an even bigger, more organized mine. This mine is absolutely massive. So you can see it starts all the way here and goes around all the way down to bedrock. Same thing here. And pretty much you can, ooh, difficulty needs to be set to 0. That's why there's so many creepers. But you can see that we actually plan on doing so much more. But we have so many of these mines, and they just allowed us to take everything that we wanted and not have to be here. We did not mine this manually. We had robots and quarries doing this, which made our lives so much easier. Again, we could continue working on the more tedious stuff while this was go ahead and getting the materials for us. And like kind of a common theme here is this was again auto sorted to come all the way from here to our base back home. So again, we can just take all the materials, in our base and not have to be all the way over here. So that was the premise behind that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the overworld base. So I will give you a sneak preview of the space station while I talk about some other things while we're doing that. So I know a lot of you guys have probably been wondering why my channel I have not been uploading and what's going on. So I am actually streaming again. I know I've made these videos before, and I know I'd never kept my promise on them, but I will be now because, one, I have a set schedule, and I am determined more than ever to get back into this area and into this industry. So I will be streaming more, and there is a schedule on the page right now where I'm actually streaming 3 to 4 times a week now at a consistent basis on Facebook Gaming. So I know that kind of sounds weird. Maybe you guys are not used to... Is this the old base? Nope, this is the new one. But this is the space station. I'm not going to show too much. That way I don't spoil everything. We still have 2 space stations, if I'm being honest. But if you guys want to follow me over on Facebook Live, I will be, again, streaming more content. It will not always be Minecraft. Every now and then it will be. But you will see a lot more gameplay and videos from me if you are interested. So I will have the link down in the description. It should be at the very top in the description box for you to click on and come watch me if you want to. It's all up to you on if you want to or not. But I promise you, I'm actually for real this time on getting things going back to streaming. And on top of that, while it's not going to be all the time, I will be uploading more to this channel as well. I have some things planned, more stuff like this, but it's not going to be all the time. So I want to stress that. And I think that's why I got burnt out before, was I was doing this every single day with the same game, if I'm being honest. And so I don't want to get to that point where I'm burnt out again. I'm not going to be playing this game all the time, but when I do make something, or if I'm playing something like this with VJ, we might stream it, or I will record it and show you guys some of the end results like what I'm doing now. So if you guys want to go follow me, it's at Metaphor Games over on Facebook. So just type in if you want to do the URL, it's www.facebook.com/metaphorgames. So again, I look forward to seeing you guys over there. I will be streaming a lot more and have a consistent schedule now, which I never had before. So hopefully this means that you guys will come join and we can get going. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated. I will talk to you guys later and see you soon for another video.